Hey there, VCE HHD students. My name is Andy. I'm a VCE Health and Human Development teacher. In this video, we're going to look at common mistakes to avoid in Unit 3, AoS Study 1, VCE HHD, number 1. Before we dive into this video, just a reminder at the Health Resources Hub, there's a range of different ways to engage with us. We've got our YouTube channel where there's over 150 content videos, SAC and exam tips, and new videos are coming out each week during the school term this year. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there, or you can just head to YouTube and search for the Health Resources Hub. If you head to our website, hrh.net.au, there's opportunities for teachers and students. And if you're Unit 3 and 4 student, we've got a free student newsletter that's coming out twice a term this year. The second version is coming out in a couple of days. And so if you head to our website and scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see there's a registration form to sign up for that. It has lots of free resources that can help you prepare for your SAC and the exam this year. You can also see our social media links there if you'd like to follow us, get alerts to our new videos and other opportunities, and also our email if you'd like to get in touch. So this first common mistake that I'm going to mention is relevant for those students who have a SAT coming up, on the second half of Unit 3 AoS Study 1 that involves the biological, socio-cultural and environmental factors. So often students get a little bit confused, when they have to link these particular factors to differences in health status and burden of disease between the different population groups. So that's things like males and females and Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians, because often you have to use examples of these factors to outline how these differences in health status or burden of disease might exist. And so students often explain the reasons regarding why some of these differences in factors might exist between the population groups. And that's not necessary. What you need to be able to do is link the differences in these factors onto health conditions and therefore differences in things like health status and burden of disease. So the easiest way to look at this is probably by looking at a question and a couple of sample answers. So for example, this question here, that's asking how may an environmental factor contribute to a variation in health status between those living within and outside Australia's major cities, which could be worth 2 marks. So you can see in the first sample answer, it mentions there that populations outside major cities are likely to have less access to recreation facilities. And so geographical access to a recreation facility is an example of environmental factor. But then they've said because they live further away and can't always find a park to exercise in. So this sample answer is trying to explain why that particular example of a factor exists for people living outside major cities compared to people in major cities. Then they've gone on to say this means they're more likely to be overweight and have type 2 diabetes. So the better alternative doesn't try to explain the reason for that difference, but links it forward to a health condition and then on to health status. So you can see down there the better alternative says that populations outside major cities are likely to have less access to recreation facilities than those within major cities. But then it says those outside major cities are therefore less likely to be physically active and burn off excess energy, which could lead to them being overweight or obese, and that can contribute to higher prevalence of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes compared to those living within major cities. So you can see how they've taken the factor and that difference in factor and linked it forward to a health condition and to health status instead of trying to explain why that difference in factor exists. And that's often the common mistake that students make when they're trying to link these factors to the different population groups, and onto health status or burden of disease. So make sure that you don't make that mistake because it's just, unnecessary information trying to explain that factor. And often there's a huge range of reasons why some of these factors might exist. We just want you to be able to link it on to health conditions and differences in health status and burden of disease. Hopefully you found that video useful. Just a reminder, here's some of those different ways to engage with the Health Resources Hub. Thanks so much.